Hey everyone, Brent here from Glorious, and today I'm super excited to be joined by Nima from Threefold Comics. Thanks, Nima.
Thanks for having me on, Brent.
Cool. And I actually just talked about this project. I thought it was super exciting. The first world first glow in the dark full comic. I love the artwork. I love everything on this project. And maybe we could start off by you doing an introduction of who you are in relation to this project, and then we'll jump into what this project is all about. Just in case you guys missed my previous video, but I will link that in the comments for you guys to check out.
Yeah, my name's Nima, and actually, always been into comics ever since I was a kid. And I remember back in high school, uh, my friend and I, we used to like write and draw comics, and another friend actually showed me a comic that had a glow in the dark cover. And all those years ago, I said, "Oh, does it glow in the dark on the inside?" And he said, "No, just the cover." And I was so disappointed. So I think that planted a seed, years ago. And then later on, when it was time to, release my first major comic book project, I kickstarted a book, and I thought, oh, no one's ever done a glow in the dark comic before, so why don't I try that?
Yeah, I actually what I used to do before when I was a kid was I used to have a lot of action figures like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and things like that, and I guess I got my hands on like glow in the dark. I don't know if it's paste or something like that, and I
Yeah,
would like take all my characters and like paint their eyes and things like that, and paint like just highlight specific things, and then again I'm trying to think of did I? It's like this glow in the dark paste. It's weird talking about it now because I've never seen any recently. I don't even know where I got that, but I would like play with them in the dark and then glow and highlight specific features, and I thought it looked really cool, and it was yeah, so that was my first like, hey, I haven't done any glow in the dark things since then, but I could relate with your experience there. So
I think it's definitely. I'm actually really glad you raised that, because it's such a childish sort of thing. It's such like, ooh, like when you're a kid. I used to have those. I don't know. A lot of other kids probably relate to this. Had those stars that you put on the ceiling, and you turn the lights off,
yeah,
and they,
yeah,
you know. So I think that's also part of it. It's just kind of like there's a little bit of a wow factor. Someone pointed out the other day. They were trolling me online, and they were like, "Oh, well, technically every NFT glows in the dark." Sure, your screen glows in the dark, but it's
not
not the
like
same
not
thing.
yeah, that's not the same thing. And then so yeah, so probably a good segue to because you don't get an NFT in person, but maybe you could talk a little bit about, obviously I talked in my previous video, but what you get for this, because obviously you get the physical edition, which is obviously not something you get for NFTs. So I do think that
Yeah.
and I said this in my previous video, was like use a good combination of getting the NFT and then the physical edition that you do get, which is not something for whoever that troll was, that you definitely get a lot more for being a part of this project. So yeah, maybe you could do a quick rundown of what the project is about, like what you get from the NFT, and then also I know you're presenting your screen, so we'll check out some of these things that you're showing off today. So
Yeah, sure. So basically, what you get is you do actually get the book itself. So there's a physical object which has got really nice printing, and that's got really nice thick paper and sort of the deluxe sort of lush cover. Um, and yeah, I was actually inspired by two NFT projects. So I can't claim to be wholly original combining a physical with an NFT, but two of my main inspirations, Artifact Studios, who a lot of people probably know from Clone X, they actually started out like designing, like you could get bespoke shoes and things like that, which is super cool. They'd forge a pair of shoes, uh, and you go to buy the NFT, and you'd put in at mint, you would forge a pair of shoes. You'd put in your details, and 4 months later they'd send you a pair of shoes. These
oh,
amazing
nice.
bespoke shoes, like one of 200. And I thought, oh, that is so amazing. I love having like an NFT thing, like, and a lot of people, like, you could go to StockX and sell the physical shoe, and then you have the NFT still, which is, and that NFT price pumped to like 14 ETH before the reveal of Clone X,
Oh geez,
because
yeah.
each NFT could let you redeem or mint three clones. So the price was like, went insane. So I thought, oh, that's a really exciting way to set up a project. And then Ben Morrow from Huxley. I don't know. A lot of people probably know him from Halo, and he's been involved in movies and Weta Workshop. He's a really cool concept designer, and his project Huxley is super cool because you order like you get the NFT comic, and then you also can get a physical comic. You can redeem a physical comic, and they send that to you. So that was actually, I was planning on doing just another PFP project. I mean, not just another one. It would be a really cool one. But when I saw Ben Morrow doing like a comic book NFT, I was like, oh, that's it. That was like the light bulb moment for me. So I thought, I'm going to do a comic book, and you get a physical comic book and the digital one as well. Right, and it'll also be a mint disc for like a Mechaverse style, really high quality 3D avatar picture, which will allow you to mint that. So, and also get 10 years worth of utility of airdrops, sent straight to wherever you hold the NFT, straight to your wallet. And
I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I thought that was like a good, like, hey, like, hey, you come into the community, we're gonna, we appreciate you being a part of this. We want you to be in this for the long run. You could have done it for a year, and they were like, wow, the whole year of era, but no, we're gonna do it for 10 years. So that's awesome because you definitely want to, I mean, these are the people that obviously value and appreciate the art, and you want to continue to be, engaging with them for the long run. So I thought that was a cool thing. And like I said, if we're talking about value, it's something definitely, people are gonna be interested in for a while. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, well, there's things like the Medikey project, which I think is I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's a really super cool project where it just has so much utility. Like you buy this one, it looks like a pass, like a key card or something, and with amazing art, and it just it's got a little infinity symbol on it, and it's like a lot, one key, a lifetime of utility. And I thought, like, oh, that's great because you buy one NFT and you just get constant value, constant airdrops, access to different like metaverse events, and they even airdropped free PFP, which is they did. I mean, you had to pay gas fees, but they just add so much value. And I thought, I want to do something like that where you just get packed with value. And I thought 10 years plus. I mean, this could go for 15 or 20 years, sure. But I thought, look, one thing I'm learning from a lot of these NFT projects, it's always better to under-promise and over-deliver. Projects where they over-promise and under-deliver, I think people get a little bit disappointed by. So that's my goal.
Right. They're like, oh, what? I'm not getting anything. And they hold, like, finally they got the NFT. I kind of feel like that sometimes when I get NFTs, like, awesome, I'm part of the community. And then like a day or a week later, I'm like, now, like, okay, not to say, but it's just like, okay, what now? What happens now? Then I kind of like lose excitement. And those people that lose excitement, they don't have anything to look forward to. Then there's like, I'm just going to sell this, right? I'm just going to flip it, make money. But you want, again, it makes sense. You're building a community. You want to, keep these engaged and obviously provide a lot of utility. So I think it makes sense. So,
yeah, I think utility is key. I think that's what sets NFTs apart. Because you could sell like a really cool digital PDF or, some files online on Gumroad or whatever. What's the special thing about NFTs? Like, I'm totally with Gary Vee on that. I think it's like utility,
Right.
Like,
yeah. No. Yeah. I saw that clip of him too. So yeah, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about, obviously you guys do follow comics. The first comic, I guess like it's called Break Run. So I don't know if you want to show off anything. I know we're looking at right here. I showed some off from things. You guys have also awesome videos that you guys have online that kind of shows off what it looks like and what obviously the glow in the dark looks like. But maybe we could talk a little bit about that, and then after that we could jump into how to be involved, etc. So I think that's great. And kind of maybe also like your thinking behind Break Run. I know there's a lot of things that you got inspired by, which is awesome. So yeah, and then this is Twitter. I love, like I said, you're definitely all that the bright green. I love that color. So you're definitely showcasing that. But maybe we could talk about the comment.
Yeah, I can show you like some panels. So what it looks like. Is that up on screen now, Brent?
Yep, I can see it. Looks good.
Great. Yeah. So
who's this guy?
Yeah. He's actually one of my best friends. I drew him in the back of the book as like hire a bounty hunter,
Nice.
Yeah, and then so then when you activate the inks, it's sort
Yep.
of
Yep.
you see it kind of glow in that sort of like a hardcore green color. But that's actually just a regular photo shot with my iPhone.
That's crazy.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the effect is actually quite intense, which I was really excited by. I wasn't quite sure how it would turn out when we went to the printers. So
There's
this is
something
just
about
up on
that
my YouTube.
green. There's something about that green that like that's glow in the dark green. Like it's not.
Yeah,
I've never. Like it's not unmistakable. It's unmistakable. So what I think is really cool. I was also gonna ask, like, obviously you guys did the comic book and things like that. That was probably like maybe like a multiple step process and making sure it gets right and things like that, right? You wanted to make sure that it's the best quality. So it looks really good. It came out really well. Obviously the video, yeah, like stuff like this. It's yeah. So if you want to talk a little bit about this and kind of
yeah, and like this, for instance, is what the NFT looks like. Um, uh, it's a lower res copy than I'd like, but you see the comic activate, and actually the NFT itself, you see kind of it tells a bit of a story. You look at it, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Like you see, there's a mech in the background. There's
yeah, like some
there's
mystery, like trying to like yeah, like what obviously doing very good at like world building and things like that, but gets people yeah curious about what this is about and uh yeah, so
yeah,
leaving a lot of options open for the future.
totally. Yeah, there's a computer there. There's discs. Like, what utility does that offer? It's kind of like this green, grungy, cyberpunk sort of atmosphere. You've
Yeah,
got boxes of comics in the back, which sort of represent the airdrops. There's the mint disc spinning around with that sort of mecha silhouette. What are you going to get when the mecha drops? So, yeah, I was just really excited by an NFT that has just got quite a lot of depth and quite a lot of like possibility. Like what. And this is just the comic and mint disc. This isn't even the main. This is
right.
kind of like the entree or the introduction.
The teaser or something. Yeah, yeah. And like I
Yeah,
said, I think that's what people are looking for, especially like they're looking to get into a community that has a lot of utility. They want more than just like, yeah, the standard image and things like that. Like what's more? And a lot of people are, promising these type of things, but you're already have all these things that you guys are planning, obviously the physical stuff, things like that, and all the, like I said, all the utility.
yeah. So yeah, some of the rare editions, for instance, will have like a full sketch inside and a signature. Some of them will just have a mini sketch and signature, and I'm even giving away uh, 5 original art pages from the comic. We're actually also launching, which is really cool. There's a chance to win the Akira figure because Akira was a big inspiration for the
Right.
project. So people have a chance to get whitelist and get an Akira figure, Kaneda from Akira, and the bike, which is 1/6 scale. So it's huge. It's like
Huge. Yeah. Oh, one
it's
six scale from a bike. Right, right, right. Yeah.
it's almost like yeah. I mean, you could
From
probably
a real
buy
bike, right?
a real bike for the price.
Right,
It's
right.
it's really cool. You these lights on, and yeah,
It
that's
actually, yeah, it lights up from the bottom. I think I saw that. Yeah, I'll put the link in the description. I kind of mentioned that a little bit on my previous video, but I'll definitely put the link in
yeah,
the description. So it's great that you guys are, doing these extra value adds to your community and giveaways just to keep people engaged. So yeah, and again, definitely, I'll put definitely previewed it on my previous video, but I love obviously all the artwork, everything that show. Obviously, it shows that you guys are definitely passionate about all art in general and inspired by a lot of great things and wanted to bring this forward. So again, there's a ton of people, and I said about this in my previous video was that you are obviously bringing all the people that are interested in NFTs and things like that, but I think you're bringing in a lot of other people that are just comic book lovers that, yeah, has there ever been a physical glow in the dark comic book? No. So the idea is that you're doing all these things. That's, bridging all the communities.
yeah.
Cool. So maybe we could talk a little bit about. Obviously, we talked about this. Maybe let's talk a little bit about the roadmap of like what's the state now, what my community could do now. Obviously, like we talked about the whitelist, and then like what's coming up, like what's coming up from a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, so we're not that far away from the launch date, which is 31st. I believe it's 31st, Thursday 31st,
Yep.
9 a.m. PST is when the project will drop. So if you're whitelist, you have a chance to, or you will we're going to notify all the people on the waitlist that they can that their whitelist is good to go and they can go in and mint when the project drops at 9 a.m. PST, and then at 4 p.m. that day, the 31st, there'll be a public sale. So the roadmap is basically on the day you can come in and mint. The forge will be activated. It's the only chance to get the physical comic, which is super cool. Right. And then there's the various rarity scores that we have. 5 ultra rare, 50 super rare, 250 mini sketch, and signature.
So the ultra rare one comes with like the five. I think you mentioned it. The full 5 full sketch plus the signature plus page of the original art. Everyone else will get like something signed, but the common with the most is just at least. I mean, it's a good common prize to get. You're still gonna get a comic book, which is amazing. So.
Yeah, all the tiers, no matter which one you forge on the day at mint, you'll get a physical comic sent to you with like with a little black light torch, which is pretty cool. Batteries included.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask about. Yeah, that was something that obviously you want to make sure they can see they're going there. So, but having that torch, I've never even heard what that is. So again, it's just more utility, and it's not like, hey, you could have obviously released it without it and let people figure it out how to do it. But it's great that you're providing this added value to it. So that's great.
Yeah, well, it's for some reason the UV torch really just charges up the. I mean, you can use it under regular light, but it's the effect isn't as brilliant. It doesn't, for some reason, the UV light really just charges up the glow in the dark inks, and that's another photo. I just took that with my iPhone, of the covers there, and it just sets it off. So I thought the best thing to do is if we're sending out this comic that's really unique, let's give people the best experience and just include a little UV torch, and then and that way. They can really, try to have the best experience possible.
Yeah, so no one can complain now that like, oh, mine's not working or mine's not lighting up like you showed you. Like, we're giving you all the tools you need to make it exactly so as you see it, which I think is smart. But those it's good. And of course, they'll always have the torch if you do plan to. And I don't know if that's what you were hinting at in the first thing that you were showing off, everything potential, like what's after break run, obviously the next one, etc. They have a torch. You could use it for their next your next possible run. So it's a little bit of I don't want you to share anything that you don't want to spoil, but
let's talk about it. Let's talk about that.
In the works.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the mint disc itself allows you to the comic and mint disc. The mint disc, if you mint a mech, one of the 3D avatar project pictures, that's from my main story arc, Street Mech Breakbeat, which is all about this cyberpunk world, sort of like this Akira world, Blade Runner world, except I've added mechs to it, these kind of gladiatorial mecha fights on an off-world colony, and that's going to be pretty hardcore, and that'll have 10 years of comic book airdrops. Those ones will be color, and then you'll have a chance to forge. And they will also have glow-in-the-dark elements, blacklight elements, various formats of printing. Like this is really a new model of publishing. But then I wanted to also add metaverse integration. So when you get your 3D profile picture, which you can use, on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, you can also then get, and a year after we drop the Mecha PFPs, we'll also give access to holders for a fully rigged 3D model that you can then take into the metaverse and use as a skin. So that's the goal, to make it metaverse ready, so people can rock it online.
Yeah, I think that just goes to the adding to the utility of it. Obviously, you're definitely building this whole entire world that people are going to be engaged in. And of course, if you're doing this 10-year project where you're constantly airdropping things to them, they want to be eager to be like, what comes next after this? And I think that's definitely interesting. So, like I said, are you the only one doing all this artwork by yourself? Because I'm thinking like, oh, this seems like obviously you're very passionate about this and everything like that. But I just want to make it's like I said, obviously it's your passion. I just want to make sure that that you're not overworking yourself, etc. Because it's definitely exciting.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. No, actually, no. What I didn't want to see, I'm from the world of comic books. Like that's sort of my background. Before that, I was a DJ,
Cool.
and I DJ'd for quite a few years, I was at really cool different cultural events in Sydney. I played the Powerhouse Museum and a really one of the best electronic nights, Frigid. And I sort of take the approach to this as a DJ. So I'm going to be recruiting some of the best concept artists, NFT artists, uh, and and comic book artists as well,
Yeah.
illustrators from all around the world to provide guest art. So, but it's quite tricky because in the world of comic books, 80 to 90% of people in comic books hate NFTs. So I'm sort of an
Interesting.
outlier. They don't understand the technology. They think it's just bad
Yeah.
for the environment and this and that. So, whereas the chain that I'm using, this is a cross-chain project that we won a 50K grant from Harmony One. The main NFT is on Ethereum, but all of the airdrops are on Harmony One. And most of them, like 95% of them will be on Harmony One, which is a green blockchain, 2 second finality, very gas efficient. So that's why we can provide so much utility. When you get the MEC PFP,
Mhm.
we'll be giving like 6 annual airdrops minimum,
Mhm.
and then we can always drop other things. So basically, for that MEC PFP, every quarter I want to have 16 unique, really cool bits of art being airdropped, and that'll be packaged with music, and there'll be a rarity score for those. So some of them might be, from like a really cool concept book artist or a Japanese mech designer, and some of them will be rare, which will add value. So then you can then sell that in the secondary market, turn it into an ERC 1155, sell it on OpenSea or whatever. So I really wanted to try to provide as much value as possible and to get something. And there's something exciting about, 16 airdrops are going to come this month.
Right,
What
right,
am I going
right.
to get? Uh, you know, it could be something super rare. There may only be 100 of these produced. Some of them will have an edition of 1,000 or 2,000, but I've got a rare edition, and I can flip it for profit or hold on to it, or maybe I want to collect them all. So yeah, I just wanted to add a lot of
He
dimension.
gives
Yeah,
them
so
he gives
I'm
them options. He gives them options what they want to do. Everyone's gonna probably be a mix of everything, which I think is good. Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
it keeps them excited about things. There's people that sign up for subscription boxes that get one physical subscription box a month, and that's exciting. But this getting 16 exciting things, so multiple things a week, I think is cool, and definitely will keep them, engaged and talking about it. I know as soon as an airdrop happened, I think everyone's gonna get excited. Like, oh, I got my airdrop. They're gonna talk to the community about it, and I think it's just everyone's gonna get excited. And it's just that excitement is always going to be like ongoing forever. Versus, like I said, comparing to other NFT, other projects, like, oh, you have that one, that one initial we minted thing, and then what? You can't just keep talking about the same thing, the same image for years to come. It's good that you're constantly like building this whole entire ecosystem. So I think it's cool. And like I said, and then your previous point about comic book artists maybe not liking NFTs, but I think yours is a good mix for both, right? Like I think you could be in this for both reasons, and I think a lot of traditional comic book artists that don't like NFTs are going to learn about NFTs, learn about the chain that it's on, get interested in NFT, but this might be the first NFT that they buy, and I think it's
yeah.
just really going to, like I said, change how they're thinking, and hopefully have a whole community of people that are talking about stuff together.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope it inspires them to just see the possibility, because you could just go to work, try to work for Marvel or DC, and get a really bad page rate, and just suffer and really grind and not own your own IP. And I just think that's sad. Whereas when you can do something like this, you just have so many more possibilities. Like ultimately, like this, I want to create like my Akira, like my epic 10-year run. So 50 pages of comic a year is very realistic for me to do it. That's why I put it.
Right.
I mean, to be honest with you, Brent, I want to do more. Like I want to do like 100 or 150 or 200 pages a year. But I thought let's just put a realistic amount at first and see how we go number of pages up. To create
Right.
a
And then
real
it makes
epic
sense
sort
where
of
you're
run.
like working with other people, collaborations, partnership, other
Yeah,
artists, things like that. So it gets people excited. Like, who's he working with? Maybe maybe the community will be like, hey, we really love this artist. Maybe you could work with like things like that, which I think will be awesome. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this. Obviously, I'll put the information in the description. Obviously, the information on the whitelist, etc. But was there anything, last things that you wanted to mention about this project, about upcoming, maybe things you want my community? Obviously, the link to attempt to reserve your spot. But anything you want them to do, I think would be great. Obviously, it was great talking to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I've covered everything. So yeah, but look out for it. I think it's going to be a really exciting project. I think now's a great time to get on board because because the Mecha PFPs that we have planned. The only thing I'm going to tease is we may or may not be working with Japanese mech designers to create some of those 3D mechs. So I think it's going to be, if you're like a fan of Gundam or Robotech or Macross, that sort of thing. We're going to get some of the OGs to get involved with this project. That's the plan. I don't want to overpromise, but if that sounds
No,
exciting,
I think it's good. I think it's you're
this
being
is
super transparent about like,
yeah,
okay, this is what this is my bandwidth. I want to strive to do more and things
yeah,
like that. And I think, yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think everything you said, like, oh, this is my band, this is what I'm doing. I'm working with other people, etc. You want to make sure that, you know, uh, you're providing what everyone understands what they're getting and then the value that they're going to be in straight off the bat. And I assume more
yeah.
stuff on your roadmap is going to be constantly. I assume after the 31st, after the mint, there's just a lot of exciting stuff coming in the near future that you're going to be talking about, sharing. And so that's why I say, if you guys are interested, follow them on other socials to stay in the loop of all the exciting updates on this project. So definitely going to keep my eye on it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Brent. Really appreciate it.
No worries. So thanks for your time. Again, good luck on. I'm definitely gonna try to reserve my spot. The 31st. Again, 9 a.m. Pacific was the whitelist, and then 4 p.m. is the public sale. I'll probably send a tweet out that day to remind people as well. But cool. I love the artwork. I definitely want to try to get my hands on a physical copy if possible. I will definitely try to get in. But thanks everyone for watching. Catch you guys next time. And again, thanks Nima for that. Love the artwork. And check out the videos. The videos are really good. Oh, yeah. If you wanted to show off this as well. This is the Kira one. I'll definitely put that link in the description
Yeah,
as
you
well,
can get
right?
these free NFTs just by whitelisting or
Oh,
joining
nice.
our Discord. So, and they also have music and comics that you unlock when you get them. So
That's cool.
if you
That's
want a
not something
couple
that
of
I've
free,
heard about.
I should
Definitely
have
using
mentioned
your
that.
experience. Yeah, yeah. Definitely no. I think that's unique, right? Like I don't. Again, you're just all providing. You didn't have to add music, but you're just adding it to add the value there. Obviously, with your experience and things like that. I think it's great. But yeah, I think it's definitely gonna make it different. So cool. So thanks
Cool.
everyone for watching. Thanks Nima again. Can't
Thank you.
wait to talk more about this project in the future. So thanks everyone.